All right, friends, thank you all for waiting. We are back with more of Fireside Pride 2024, this time with Backpack Hero by TrainerAnade, with Arya on
Thank you
fantastic
so
game.
much, Scala. So yes, it is a sorry. One of our puppies decided now is the time to scratch. This is Backpack Hero, a roguelike inventory management deck builder sort of game. I am going to be here and possibly talking, but for the most part, I'm going to focus on the gameplay. So that's why I have Arya here.
Yes, I have over 300 hours in this game, so I know the game very well, even if my speedrun strats are not as good.
But let's go ahead. We can get right into the game so that we're not taking too much time, because this is a roguelike, so we never know what's going to happen. Now, with that said, I believe there's a costume bid war.
There was indeed, and Cave Ma'am for Purse won very handedly.
Yay, Caveman! I'm so happy. This is
One of my favorites.
yes, and I think this is the first time Caveman has ever been in a marathon. So, all right, we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
So this is roguelike in the vein of Slay the Spire, but unlike, instead of getting cards, we have these items that we put in the backpack. We always have the same 3 items in 3x3 backpack, and in the map, and there's a map that is kind of, you travel around it rather than just like the tree that normally is in a lot of these games. But just like all the other ones, their intention of the enemy is displayed over their heads. We have 3 energy to use various items in the backpack. The shield gives block, which prevents damage, and the weapon does attack, which does do damage. And when we beat enemies, we get XP, and if we get enough XP, we get levels, which means we increase the size of our backpack by 4 squares, at least at the beginning. So then we have these items. We get more items each round. We can take a few of them. Again, we're trying to go quickly. The reason why Anade doesn't do much in the way of talking in his run is because the thing that takes the longest in this game is thinking. And so talking reduces thinking time significantly. So we are done with the second combat. Usually these first 2 combats always get us 2 levels, which is a very good way to start. We're trying to find some specific items. Well, not specific items. Trying to find certain types of items. Trying to find a better weapon. Trying to find some armor. Armor is weapons that... armor is items that will provide the block automatically without you having to spend any actions to do it. Obviously, it has advantages for the purposes of using action economy. You don't have to spend energy using the using your shield to get the block. Those question marks are events. We'll be checking a few of them. Most of them we'll be ignoring because they take time and they're kind of random. But we'll go checking them out each time. But we're already on floor 2. We have this... these chests are really great for the speedrun because they are very quick ways to provide some items. Because the one problem with there's like a lot of speedruns that are XP based, you generally are underleveled for where you're supposed to be, where they expect you to be at any one time. So we are chests are really good because then we don't have to worry about like having many fights and stuff. So that's something we try to take advantage of as much as possible, is those chests. Again, we're kind of going through the spiky club. In addition to doing damage, it also provides a benefit called slow. Slow will reduce the enemy's shield defense. So if they were going to shield, whatever shield they would do would be decreased by their slow value. So that's not great, but it is better than just doing straight damage. Probably better than the starter weapon. So that's why we grabbed that. Ooh, that's really good. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. So, yeah, I know it's unfortunate. So that item there we got is a sun. So one of the types of items in this game that's pretty common, literally and figuratively, because they're different rarities, is summer items. Summer items are those kind of like orangey items in our backpack, and one of the things that they do, and one of the things that we haven't really seen yet, is that items will do things depending on the location in their backpack. So the sun provides sunlight to items below it. Sunlight is, and so each of the summer items does something differently when it has sunlight. The sword that we got here, this sun rapier, this provides extra damage for each sunlight it has. Ooh, nice big sun too. So yes, so we're going to be going with summer items. It seems like.
Yep.
Yeah, we have to rearrange the backpack to make sure we get the most benefit out of these summer items, because the little floaty we have at the top is also a summer item. The reason why we can't just put the sun on top of the floaty is because the floaty has something, literally has the property called float, which means it will rise to the top of your backpack automatically without you having to do anything, without you being able to do anything about it. So we can't, if we tried to put the sun on top of the float, it would just knock itself out. So we got that giant sun, which provides sunlight to adjacent items, which we'll apply it to both the sword and the float, which will give us extra armor or even more additional damage for our sun rapier.
Can I ask? Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Just very quick question, as a casual player, why did you put the slime on top of your club?
So the club, the slime goes. You want to try to avoid spending energy on the slime. The slime is a hazard. Hazard will be used on top of items if they cover an item completely. They will reduce the item's effectiveness. We either won't be able to use it at all, or you have to kill the slime to take it. So Anade will place slime that they get during the combat in the place that does the least amount of harm to them at any one point, so that they can take advantage of not having to deal with the slime for deal with slime for too many turns in a row.
Yeah.
So we weren't using the club because we already got the sun rapier. We already decided that was the weapon we were going to be using. So the club was we were keeping it around just in case it made sense later. At this point, we threw it out because it didn't make sense, and so it was no harm to us to use the slime. So therefore, we just dealt with it. So this is the shopkeep. We don't actually go into the shop because, again, we get so little gold, and we try to spend gold on the things that are more important to us, like the forge. That's where our main goal is. With their goal is to use the forge. We'll see that later. But we do like to sell things to the forge. Specifically, a lot of times the relic that we get at the end of each boss fight, because of the fact that we don't have this. We have these relics. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're not. The ones we got in this particular instance were not very useful to us, so we just grabbed the small one so that we could easily sell it on the next turn. And perfect. So there are three items, three different forge things that we specifically look for in the speedrun. We found one of them, which was the Rage. Rage is kind of similar to Slow in that it will affect the original, actions you do, but Rage increases damage. So for each Rage value, every attack you do, it gets added to your Rage value. So, and by adding the Rage onto the sword, all of our attacks will do more damage every time we use that sword. And not, so it's a very much good way to kind of deal with the scaling damage, and trying to keep doing more and more damage, so that when we are going through the fight will go quicker and quicker, especially as some of these enemies that have their own bit of rage, or just in general all enemies have scaling damage the longer a fight goes on.
Oh, a pocket.
Yes. So that we just got there is a pouch, a pocket, or I guess it's a pocket. I think it's what it's called. You might be right. I always call it the extra pouch, but yeah. So that is, it's just a place to put other items in it. It's not always useful in the speedrun, except for like it can help you collect some rare items that you might like that. We don't need that item.
Otherwise be able to take.
Yeah, so we don't need that item. We don't want that item, but like we can then grab it anyway and then bring it over to sell it, because so we don't have to take up space for it. Having to be able to have those extra 9 spaces generally really helps for the speed run. So and just having those extra things, and we should be getting at least a few more levels, so we'll have. Are you gonna add the regen?
No, because the thing energy was there.
Oh, the energy was there too.
So if I can get
a piece of clothing. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't see that was there. Yeah. So the other regen is one of the other ones that we would get. The wand that we have will provide regen. Regen is healing over time, which is very good, especially when we have a kind of a low armor deck like a low armor backpack like we have right now. So we will, have that regen. Ooh, that's really nice. I mean, it's not a great item, but it is a nice sell item. So yeah, I mentioned briefly that the items have rarity. Both rarity and size are the two big things that kind of determine how good an item will be. In general, items are better if they're bigger, and items are better if they're rarer. Rarity is, even if the item isn't useful for us, like that sword, we really don't need that sword. Because at this point our Sun Rapier is good enough. We have this. They sell for more at the shop. So we really try to maximize the amount of gold we can get from shops, so that we can kind of make that as helpful as possible. So we grab that sword just to sell it. That kind of shows the power of the pocket, as all women know. But yeah, so right now we're kind of in a little bit. Is there anything you'd like to share with us, Scala?
I mean, as I sort of mentioned, after Anade showed me this game, I have played this game casually. I beat the story. Well, I got to the final boss of the story mode. So I am just like enjoying all the extra tips and everything and seeing how to really go fast. Though I'm glad I'm not the one who just like sees like this particular fight. It's just like, oh god, snails.
Yes.
So annoying.
Snails are probably one of the most annoying enemies, especially because not only do they have this slime, they also summon more snails, and which also summon slime. You quick, your backpack gets full.
Slimes. But anyway, I do want to just remind people that we do have polls open for outfits for our next 2 characters. So next up is going to be Crate, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll have outfit for Crate. Right now, Frankenstein's monster is winning. And then after that, we're going to have Satchel, where Purple Scientist is currently the winning costume. But all of that can change, chat. That is all up to you. I'll go ahead and toss out the donate link for y'all. And also, I'm letting everyone know that we just opened up a new target for Turok 3 Shadow of Oblivion to change the run to cutscene %. So that's going to be, we need $200 to unlock that. That sounds like so much fun. So I hope y'all will be able to go ahead and contribute to that as we're here raising money for Point of Pride.
Thank you. Yeah, so we're almost at floor 6, which I didn't say this, but every 3 floors there is a boss. The boss gets those relics, and you change biomes. So right now we're in the deep cave, which is one of the 2 options for the floors 4, 5, 6. Each of the biomes has unique encounters and some unique events as well as unique bosses. So we choose in the speedrun, we almost always go to the same ones. We go through the the deep cave, the crypt, the cave, and then the fire in general. Just because of convenience of what we feel like they have the slightly easier encounters and more reliable encounters at that too. So,
Yeah, when I was doing my
yeah.
when I was doing my required, all the times you have to go through, I basically took crypt, deep cave, but molten heart, I think is, or is it
Yeah, something like that.
Or-
molten core?
There we go.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I still don't have armor.
So you just get that regen.
Yeah, I'm going to put the regen on that, I think.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Hopefully we can get that armor again, or yeah. So yeah, the regen, the one regen on the ring is very useful because one thing that I forgot to mention about status effects is status effects will decrease by 1 every turn. So if you have that +1 regen on the ring, that will automatically always get the +1 regen. That means the regen we're getting from the wand, which would normally have limited use, will stay at the level it's at forever for the rest of the combat. It won't get any more, but it will get just alone. But we will have that that nicety of making sure that we get that regen consistently. So we're in this boss. This is one of the more annoying bosses because the Badger boss will summon pretty much every turn, as well as getting
Every other
turn, and then get rage as well, which will increase his own damage. So we really have to be careful about managing his. We can't let this fight go on too long, or eventually he will be doing so much damage to us that it will bypass any ability for armor that we have. Luckily, with our own bit of rage, we're getting through his ads quicker and quicker. That's one of the reasons why rage is so important in this speedrun for survivability. So that we kind of can get this, so we can deal with these ads quickly. So that when he does his damage, oof.
Yeah. I know.
I can try again. I think you could.
Yeah.
You focus too little on him.
I know. Welcome to the speedrun, folks.
Yeah. So dying is part of life. No, it's not. Dying is part of video games. So we carry on. We move forward, and we try to make sure that we get as little as we can. We're trying to deal with these boss. We generally try the boss at least twice, at least if there's something we think we could have done differently. In this case, I think there was.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So we were. Were you blocking too often, you think?
Yeah.
So you won't get enough rage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why I was taking the damage this time around.
Yeah.
At least at first.
Yeah. So now we have like 18 rage, which able to get the little badgers down in less energy, which is hopeful. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We're not dead yet.
Not dead.
I don't know how.
I think we're dead this time. Though.
Yeah, there's no way.
Oh no.
Yeah, 62 damage. Nothing I don't think you can beat this.
I don't think so either, unfortunately.
So this is part of it. Yeah, the caveman.
Caveman.
Yep. So we just keep going. Try again. So, is there anything else for you to share about for us, Scholar, when we get back?
Sure thing. I mean, I can always happy to talk about our wonderful, wonderful charity, Point of Pride. This is our second time supporting them for one of our winter events. So if you haven't heard, earlier, folks, we're raising for money for Point of Pride. Point of Pride is a trans-led 501c3 nonprofit organization, and they've served tens of thousands of people in all 50 states and over 100 countries by providing access to gender-affirming health and wellness services. One of their big programs, the one that they just wrapped up, was their annual Transgender Surgery Fund. That's a scholarship-like program that provides direct financial assistance to trans folks who cannot afford their gender-affirming surgery. So I know they're going to be announcing the recipients of that soon. And so a lot of the money that we're raising here for this event is going to go directly to helping folks in need. And that's really why we're super happy to support Point of Pride.
This run's going better.
Yeah.
Now, do you prefer the shoe hat? Do you prefer it as a shoe or a hat?
Shoe is better.
Shoe is better because it gives more if you have a bigger backpack.
Yeah. The shoe hat and the shoes provide the same amount of armor.
Right.
But the shoes are smaller, so they're always better. The only downside to the shoes versus the shoe hat is they don't have a forge slot. But for the speed run, that almost never matters because we don't use we wouldn't be forging our boots anyway.
There is nothing that.
There's plus armor.
Oh right, there is.
And the conductive.
Listen, I forgot.
Yeah, we don't use them ever, so we don't. So for us, we prefer shoe hats. Shoe hats is one of the better armors because it's so small. It can get benefits from being adjacent to things much easier.
I also tend to be a shoe hat fan.
You can taste the small dagger. Oh, you don't want to get rid of the shield, probably, right?
I mean...
Oh yeah, you have too many things. Yeah. So yeah, one thing that we have, since we didn't get any clothing last time around, we didn't see one of the benefits. You know, as the position of the backpack, as we were talking about, the position of the backpack matters where you put the thing. You know, you want shoes at the bottom of your backpack, you want helmets at the top in general. So the shoes will provide benefit for extra block for each space above it. Helmets will provide block for each space below it. Again, in general, there's always exceptions. Armor, like the tunic, the clothing part, like the tunic part, that provides armor for just existing, but also provides armor for adjacent other armor pieces. So it's one of the reasons why we said we like the shoe hat, because you could fit 3 shoe hats in the same space as, you know, you can fit 2 shoe hats in place of 1, and so it would give twice as much block for that, as well as twice as much block from any benefits and bonuses to armor. So that is really why we really enjoy. Armor is really good, and that was one of the downsides. We didn't really get a lot of good armor.
I did not.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. So the relics are all unique, and they all have some sort of like positive, but some sort of cost. Sometimes the cost is minor and just takes up space, but in other cases, the cost is some mechanic they have to like deal with. The one we just picked up now, this mouse wood, is designed for archery builds. Archery is a thing that it is one of the more fast ways to get through the game. However, we don't generally get the luck. It's very luck you need to get the right arrows and get the bow and everything you need to do archery properly. But so mouse wood really benefits from an empty backpack, which is the same thing that archery does. You get extra energy for every 5 empty spaces in your bag. We will probably be selling this mouse wood because our backpack is always so full. Yeah. Anyway, so like we just don't have extra space pretty much ever. So we don't generally get any benefit from it. It just takes up space. So you'll probably be selling it, right?
Yeah.
As soon as you can.
Yeah, the shop was hidden behind this, though.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, there is usually 1 shop for every floor after the first floor. Very rarely there are 2 shops or 0 shops, but for the most part, you can get 1 shop and 1 forge per spot. So you're gonna grab the sun just in case.
I mean, Not really, because I'm about to put rage on that, so
Okay.
not really.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I'm not putting rage on it because I don't have the gold. Oh wait,
Yeah, you do.
yeah, I do. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, you can sell something for 1. Yeah.
There we go.
So the legendary items as well as the relics are worth 17. And then it's rare is 10, uncommon is 6, and common is 3. Because you can only sell 3 items per turn, 3 items per shop, not per floor. It's generally not worth it to sell commons because it's just a waste of a sell slot. But if you just need that extra 3 gold, for some reason, in this case we needed 1 gold to get the rage, it's worth it. Especially in the speed run, where you just, again, everything is harder. We try to avoid fights, do only the fights that are absolutely necessary to get to the stairs.
Though, one thing that's important about the triple finish is that I'm not going, as fast as possible. What I am doing is basically marathon safety.
There's so many. You have so many summer suns.
Yeah, but it's not like
not worth it.
full.
Yeah, but that's to be expected though with a run like this, because I have definitely run games where there is absolutely a fast route, but I made sure that I learned the safe route.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, is because this is the triple finish, which I don't think we've talked about, is I have to finish the game, or at least the goal is, with 3 separate characters. Instead of going sort of as fast as possible, I'm trying to, go as fast as I can while still completing it.
Right. So the archery build, as I said, it is the fastest. Like if you look at the speed run, if you want to get it done quickly, archery does the most damage with the least amount of items. However, you need very specific items, and you need also kind of luck with what enemies you run into as well. So between those 2 things, it's just very a risky strat. So it's like, if you're playing Minecraft, right? That's the most common game that has lots of randomization, right? This top speed of Minecraft is much better than you would ever get in like a competition or a race of the game. So it's the same kind of concept with the Backpack Hero. We choosing a strategy that will make sure that we finish 3 runs. Otherwise, the timing would just, trying to get the perfect item, trying to get the best possible items would lead to a lot of dead runs. So that's why we really are being careful about this. What was that? Oh, you had another extra energy from that?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, so we are doing much better. We have a lot more armor this time. We found 5 different pieces of armor, which again, add on top of each other. Yeah.
Yes, perfectly normal outfit.
Yeah, 2 shirts, 4 boots.
Yeah.
No, wait, 6 boots. 6 boots, technically. Because he's Buddhist, 2 boots.
Yep. Yeah, this is normal. I don't know what you're talking
That's how you wear clothing. But we're back to where we were. Only a little bit of delay.
Oh, so this is a much better boss.
Yes.
Yes, this boss was a lot worse in the originally.
Yes.
Because he would be adding spikes every turn, basically, very frequently, and no way to stop it. They made this a little bit easier at some point before 1.0. But spikes, why it's such a dangerous effect is spikes will do damage to you every time you do melee damage to the boss. So if it has 4 spikes, it will do 4 damage to us every
Shield
single time.
Spirit! I love Shield Spirit.
We'll just sell that though.
Nah. If I get King, I would probably rather hold on.
Oh, okay. What does a shield spirit do again? That's the one
No,
that.
this is the.
Oh, that's the half your block. All right, that's that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to that.
Yeah, that one you should hold on to. Yeah, I misremember that one.
Okay.
I was thinking.
like,
There's two different shield relics.
You're
I get
thinking the demon.
the demon. Yeah, maybe.
By the way, I am on to floor 7.
Yes.
So that
Yes, if people have
that pole.
yes for Crate,
Mhm.
our best Robo Boy.
Yep.
Right now, we still have Frankenstein's monster in the lead. Though we did have a donation come in, if I can quickly
Go for
read
it.
Amazing organizer of the event, along with a few of us here in chat. Alistair Jasu donated $20, saying, "Every time I see Backpack Hero in a marathon, I'm like, the music in this game is so good. Good luck with the run, TrainerAnade."
Thank you.
The music in this game is really good. Like, especially like if you play a whole bunch of it, it will get stuck in your head. I do love that every zone has its own like unique
Music.
sound. Yes,
Yes.
I really like that effect.
Yes. That is. I would agree with that. Music is one of the better parts of this game, for sure. Are you gonna sell that sword?
Better. I love this game.
Yes, so there's lots of good things about this game. There's a reason I have so many hours in it.
I shouldn't have opened that chest, by the way. That was a dumb move.
Well, it was a dumb. The reason why it was dumb was that at floor 9 or floor 7, there's a decent chance that the chest would have been a mimic, which is a hermit crab mimic. So it would have actually been a crab. And we got lucky that it was not.
Yeah.
Usually, if you see at this level a chest that doesn't have any sort of specialness to it, it's usually a mimic, more often than not. So yeah, one thing that happened just now is we got poisoned. Poisoned is damage over time, but it bypasses your shield. So we want to really take care of those poison dealing enemies as quickly as possible so we can avoid that damage over time.
But Moth Bomb.
You should probably replace your other mana stone with the bonsai tree.
You know what?
Infinite mana.
You're right. Right, you're right.
Yeah, the bonsai tree. I didn't talk about mana at all. Mana is another resource that you can use to do things. It's those little blue, spiral things, and unlike energy, it doesn't refresh at the end of each turn. It refreshes at the beginning of each combat. So, we will be having this. The mana that little blue rose automatically takes mana from it and just applies spikes to yourself. That's what all the roses do. Right? Their roses have thorns, right? That's the so one of the nice things is that tree, it has the ability of providing additional mana, as long it will provide 1 mana at the beginning of each turn, and then the rose will take the mana and use the energy. So it will by having just that 1/2/2 mana stone and the bonsai tree, since we have a +1/-1, we have infinite mana. That rose will continue giving us thorns throughout the entire combat. Rather than, if we had the 3 mana, it would work for 3 turns and then that'd be done. And so some of these longer fights, that becomes a real big deal, because again, that's another way of kind of adding scaling damage. Like when they're attacking you, they take damage, right? And their damage constantly goes up and more and more. So they will be hurting themselves, and with our rage plus the thorns, we can deal with people who are, growing, and people would be done with quicker. For enemies that summon.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
Why did we bypass the Cursed Forge?
Oh, because it requires thinking.
Okay, fair enough.
Because the Cursed Forge is free forge slots. It will provide some benefit, like for free to one of your forged items. But they always come with some negative to it. Some of the negatives aren't that bad, and they can be very much dealt with. some of them are require you to rearrange your entire backpack in order to take advantage of them. And because we don't know them, exactly what we're going to get each turn and how we're going to take advantage of it best, we try to avoid them. Generally, the benefits they give are not worth the time it takes to think about how to use them. To process what the penalty would be, and or rearrange your backpack to deal with that penalty.
No, that's kind of why I figured, but I figured I would ask. 'Cause like I said, I am partly here to learn.
Yeah. And the Forge didn't have anything.
Yeah, so.
But the Snipe shield is a better shield.
Well, it's.
Yeah, I guess only slightly.
Yeah.
You have to rearrange your backpack in order to make it better.
Fine, I can do that.
Oh yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Yeah. So the Knight Shield is good because it provides extra, kind of like the clothing, it provides additional armor to armor that it's adjacent or diagonal to. And the reason why we have to be careful is because our little dagger, a wooden knife, requires a shield to the right of it in order to do damage, to do any significant damage.
Now, is it adjacent to the right or just to the right?
Just to the right anywhere.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's why it can be so far away from the sword, as it is right now. You gonna go for it?
Yeah, I'm on floor 8.
Oh yeah, true. What's worst thing happen?
Yeah, I get a curse. Oh well.
So curses are, what they do is they're items that will take up one of your loot spots if you don't take them. They'll follow you around for the rest of until you take them, and or use an item effect called Cleanse. Because we're on floor 8 and our backpack is in a pretty good state, we're not really looking for new items anyway, so getting that one less item is not worth it. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
All the cursed items are useful items, but they generally come with a pretty significant downside, even more so than the relics. So, they'll either do damage to you, or the one that we got isn't actually, I don't actually remember what that one does, but I don't look at those curses very often, but but it's some shield that does some positive and negative effect to you, and we try to avoid curses because it reduces our item pool, and since we have such limited items already, we really can't afford that reduced item pool most of the time. So we are, but because we're on floor 8, we're not looking for anything specific. We can let them just take up that spot, and we'll just deal with the downside. This enemy, this cat bird, the cat bandit on the right, is one of the really nice things about spikes. Is this one does every other turn he does 4 energy, 4 tiny attacks rather than 1 giant attack. And so those 4 tiny attacks each get spikes attacked onto it. Are you gonna grab the helmet?
Maybe.
Yeah.
There we go. That's better.
Perfect. So those spikes really kind of make the cat bandit tear itself up, which is very nice for the for keeping us getting through this fight quickly. All right. Well, so we saw some of these before, these sleeping enemies in the top. Once they see you, meaning there's an adjacent line or a orthogonal line from them to you, they wake up and they will follow you forever until you encounter them or leave the floor. So we try to avoid the elites because they are, in general, harder fights, longer fights, and only marginally more XP than a non-elite fight.
Cool. All right, we're on to floor 9, by the way.
Yeah, so it will now be closed. The incentive will now be closed.
For crate.
Oh,
We
go
still
ahead.
have one more.
Satchel!
Yes.
I will go ahead and close it out for crate.
Yes.
While you go ahead and fight. Oh, it's this
The
like
Grandmaster.
the
Grandmaster.
Grandmaster. That's right.
Yeah.
So one thing is every biome, every 3 floors, there's a boss. Every biome has 2 possible bosses. This is but the fire also has the hardest boss, which at least we haven't seen yet, but no promises. We have to do this 3 times.
He seems to be slightly more common, the final boss. So, the Grandmaster is a very interesting combat, because on turn 1 he does nothing. On turn 2 he summons these 3 salamanders, and then just kind of sits around and does healing or whatever. And he will continue to just sit around doing healing, or every few turns, and otherwise just smoking his pipe until he gets to half of his hit points. At what point, once he gets to half hit points, that's when he realizes that you might actually be a threat that needs to be considered. And that's when he starts putting his pipe down, and you'll see him start changing his attacks. Because of our rage, that's really bad for him, because we've been powering up while he's just been smoking his pipe.
I mean, and also with the shield spirit and everything.
Yeah, you're getting to the point where like we're in such a good state and he's in such a bad state that generally by the time he gets to start attacking us, we're safe from him. And so we are done with the boss. We just kind of speed through these next things. The encounter is we say we have to click that new game button. That's before we can go to the next hero. So now we'll be going to Crate.
And what was
It was
Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein's monster. All right. So now Crate.
Crate is the robot mouse. And his backpack looks different. It's a bigger backpack as well. You have these weird little like pipe-looking things. The way Crate works, as you'll see once you do the thing, is once we do the fight, he just his fight is just autonomon. He's literally a robot, right? You set up as robot, and then during the combat, just does his thing throughout the fight. The only thing you really have to worry about in general, that we try to worry about for the speedrun, is making sure we hit the right enemy. That we don't take advantage of making sure that enemy is as useful as possible for us. But that's one of the main reasons why Crate is the second character in the speedrun, is it gives Anade a chance to kind of take a breath, make sure they drink some liquid, which all should be doing.
Yeah, I mean, y'all couldn't see, but I shook my hands out while I was waiting for that fight.
Yeah. So it's a very good second fight because of that reason alone. We really try to take advantage of. Yeah, not worth it.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is a little different. For Crate, we generally try and create a circle. The reason for that is we want to create that circle so that we will have we can still take advantage of just having to worry about one item. When we only have to deal with one item at a time, it generally makes we don't have to worry about enhancing that one item, that we can use that over and over again. And we don't have to worry about the other big problem with Crate is if you run out of mana, run out of energy, or run out of things to hit before you run out of energy, specifically, that extra energy is just falls out of the backpack and is wasted. So having the circle, making that a square, right, technically, or the loop, we don't have to worry about it. That's easy. The hat is actually not great.
I'm going for a hat.
You going for the hat? The fancy hat?
Hat.
Yes.
Fancy hat.
So that fancy hat is not any better than 2 individual hats. It's identically equivalent to 2 hats, except the fact that it only gets benefited from armor once, but it provides 2 armor, put everything underneath it, which is okay for this run because again it's so early. That's good. We won't have those 2 helmets. You don't have a weapon that can get rage anyway.
I mean, I do, but it's that one, so.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Is that the? No, that's not useful. Yeah. So So yeah, we have that fancy hat that will be getting benefits from the armor, as well as the spiky helmet that we have is another item that gives spikes. gives 2 spikes per turn, as well as a little bit of armor. So it is, again, spikes is, it's not something we really go for a lot. It's not a big part of the speedrun, but when you can get spikes without, dealing with too much other things, it's generally a good thing to go for. These are not good pieces. Oh yeah, and this one thing I didn't talk about either is like when you get crates, and instead of just choosing exactly the shape of your backpack, you have to construct your backpack piece by piece with these Tetranimals that you get instead of normal backpacking. So we have these Tetranimals, and whatever you can get is randomized, and it's not always what you want. Sometimes, usually, I found it's not what you want. Perfect. So now we can make sure that what we got there is one of the interesting pieces. It can both act as a corner, as well as what is basically a reverser. So it will, when it hits that flat side, it will bounce back. I mean, it's not so, as you saw, it kind of bounced back and allow us to use the extra energy we got from the flowers, so that we don't use it. It's not as great as a full circle because again, it's not hitting everything. It won't, eventually will run out of energy, but it gives us a couple more places to get, if we get more energy to use it.
They heard that one run. They were like, "You said you didn't have enough armor.
What if more armor?
Exactly." I'll throw that out, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing. Now you're gonna kick it. You're gonna keep the brick.
I'm gonna keep the brick because there was
a haste.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can have enough to get it. 32, you can get it.
32.
Cost 32 to get haste.
Yeah, I know.
And there's the 5 gold.
What, 5 gold?
On the map.
Oh, there is. Right. I was like, what gold? That's why I didn't choose a path.
Haste is the opposite of slow. Haste will provide additional armor. Literally the opposite, right? So when we add haste to this brick, turn 1 we'll get 1 haste. And so turn 2 we'll get all of our armor will do a little bit better. If we can find a way to get a second bit of haste, that'd be very good, because then we can actually start building that haste. But for now, it is still worth it to get that 1 piece of haste. And that's one of the main reasons we grab those bricks. It's not always a great option, but it does help a little bit. Especially since we don't have a good weapon right now, we're gonna be living a little bit harder. The shield spirit again?
Yeah, probably.
So we get that second. Perfect. We get these little dagger again.
Yeah.
So we have that little dagger again. So we'll keep doing the same kind of thing. Generally, the runs end up with the same types of weapons because of the rarities. We get commons more often than not. So we're very used to getting those commons.
Okay.
Okay, and we have rage, so hopefully we can get the 30 gold before the end of this floor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is bad.
Yep, we're fine.
You're fine. You're fine.
Oh, luckily, I grabbed that shield spirit. So.
Yeah, so this guy is providing haste spikes every turn. Luckily, we were able to quickly dispatch him before head spikes became an issue. Yeah.
I'm just not gonna grab anything.
Yeah.
Hang on, I just have to move some stuff around. We're fine. Yeah. There we go.
You can use a second. Yeah, perfect. Second repeater.
Okay.
Yeah. So now you don't need the full circle if we can get something else that will get us enough of a. Since we have the 2 repeaters, I guess we have 4. We do have 4, but the shape does not work well. Oh, this is bad. So hazards are especially problematic for crate, because you can't use the you can't use all of. I don't think you can use the hazards before you use your energy. So
I think you can. It's
some of them. I think some of them you can. Some of them you can't.
Because I have the auto on, it gets weird. Auto off and
Yeah. So placement of those hazards becomes very important because you have to make sure. With the auto on, if the ooze ever go onto the launcher, it will just stop. It will just end your turn immediately, which is not ideal.
we're not taking damage, so.
Yeah. At this point, we're not taking damage, so we're.
I don't have any way to
grab that sword. To grab that.
Just to sell it, but
You can get with the club, right?
could. Alright.
Yeah. Now we'll make sure you get the 30.
Hey. Please take it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So now we got. That is one of the bigger. That was a wand. It is a pretty good wand, but because of the 3, and because we just don't have enough mana, it's not really worth it to keep that giant wand.
Yeah, that's fine, right?
Yeah, that should be fine.
I'm gonna test it to make sure. Okay, good.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, we have this now. We have this nice.
Just quickly checking these. Okay, cool. And on to floor 5.
Yeah. So because of the 2 reversers, it actually kind of nice, better than the loop, because obviously watching the animation of the charge roaming around the thing takes time. Perfect. So by having it have to travel around the backpack less, because we just go back and forth between the 2 reversers and still be able to hit a bunch of things, it does end up being a little bit faster, especially since we have the one little tiny dagger. So we'll be hitting that dagger quicker, make the turns go quicker as well. But yeah, Scott, is there anything to announce while I take my own drink of water?
Yeah, no problem at all. While we were talking about robotic logistics, we did get in a $20 donation from Uno Squid. No message, but thank you so much. Both Uno Squid made sure that that $20 went to both a poll and to a target, both for Princess Peach later on this evening. So thank you so much. And as a note, we still have one more poll open for Backpack Hero to choose the costume for our last hero, which will be Satchel. We have the default adventure outfit, the scientist outfit, the older adventure outfit, and the surfer outfit. Right now, Purple Scientist is in the lead with $5, so that'll be very easy to change up if you would like to. And then as far as other open incentives go, we still have a choice for Princess Peach for her outfit. Right now, Disco Dress is in the lead with a little over $50, but there's still plenty of time for either Special Dress, Figure Skater, Vertical Stripes, or Grape Dress to overtake Disco Dress. We're still working towards unlocking Saving Mr. Mustache in Princess Peach Showtime. We're a little over halfway. We're at $84 out of $150. And we also have our incentive for Turok 3 Shadow of Oblivion cutscene percent. We need $200 to unlock that. I feel like that's also going to be a really, really fun thing to add to this marathon. Y'all have already been doing amazing. So I hope that we get to have just more marathon and just more of raising money for Point of Pride.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so one of the things we just grabbed, this little silver little battery thing. It is one of the ways that Crate can get additional energy. So whenever you use a shield, if you use a shield next to one of those things, it will provide another just one energy charge out of it. So it's not, it's one energy. It doesn't do much, but it can, allow you to hit potentially. If you're playing casual, you can hit other things besides your normal weapon, or you just, in our case, just get more weapon. Oh yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I'll hold on to it for now.
Yeah. So yeah, we are. It's not as good as getting the. Oh, there we go. You can sell the hat.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking I was gonna do, is I'm gonna go all the way back to sell the hat.
Yeah, the hat takes up a lot of space, and it's really not that good of an item. It works well at the beginning. It was good where it lasted. We had to sell the fancy hat so that we can get more energy. In all honesty, that is probably the better.
Yeah, it is.
But this is one of those cases where we have all those other helmets. This is one of the cases where we might have used the shoe hat as the hat, because we can put it next to those other armors. But that's kind of the exception. But yeah, so luckily we have this boss again, and we have plenty of armor, so we should be fine. I'm not too worried at this point for this fight. We might be not in a great spot for if we get King, but we do have rage, we do have extra energy, and we do have some haste. So we can probably get through these next 3 floors pretty quickly. Right? Probably not going to go through.
Yeah, we have the regen too, so.
Oh yeah, 2 regen, right? Oh no, just.
I think we have it on the ring. Oh no, we don't.
Yeah.
But.
You do that.
Yeah, you know what? I was just saying I have regen.
Yeah. So that egg timer, is every time you use a weapon, it will then.
Speaking of
the shoe hat, yep.
Yeah.
Every time you use a weapon, it will provide 1 additional. It'll increase its damage by 1. The downside is every turn you lose hit points. But because of our regen, we will, easily make that off. It's not as good as rage because it only applies to the weapon being used, and so like our rage, provides our shivs that are free to use with extra damage, whereas the egg timer will only, add 1 to those shivs when they use the first time and never again. But because we're kind of using, that little dagger 4 or 5 times per turn, we get that advantage of lots and lots of extra damage. Basically, because we only have the 1 weapon, that little mini dagger, the wooden knife, is already doing 23 damage each time you use it. Yeah, probably. Yeah. So now you have a little bit more armor. Yeah. So reason why we're making the backpack a little bit bigger, right? 2 reasons, like the path bigger. There's 2 main reasons for making the path bigger. 1, we can hit more things potentially, a few more things. Obviously, we're hitting the helmets, but like we could hit other things as well. And the other reason is, that's really nice. I want that between, yeah. So what that is really good. So that is extra energy. But yeah, so the reason why I want longer paths is because that little blue shield that we start with, it does more block the longer the path was before it hit that block. Are you going to grab the balloon?
No, because I don't.
You don't have a place to put it.
Yeah, I'd have to completely move things around to grab it.
Yeah. So the balloon, despite it's called a balloon, but it is a structure. It's just a floating structure. Most structures are heavy, which means they fall to the bottom. Float means they go to the top, like we saw before with the floaties. So it's a really amusing kind of weird game you play with getting those balloons next to the structures. Because the way structures work, is they provide block. They do nothing on their own, but they provide block if they are adjacent to other structures. So trying to mix those heavy and light things together is a fun challenge if you want to have a block build.
Oh no. Okay.
No, it's fine. If you start with Insight, as long as you don't stay in this site, it doesn't actually wake up.
Okay,
so
good.
Because we have to immediately move right, we were able to avoid the elite completely.
Yeah.
It's actually one of the best places for an elite on floor 8, because usually you can't avoid them. So.
Now, do you all want to explain what like the overheat is?
Oh yes, thank you. So yes, the overheat. Some of the items have a maximum number of heat they can take, and there's two different things that can happen when they get to their maximum heat. Some items, like the two little the ones with the Tesla coil and the shield thingy, they do They do a thing when they get to their max heat. So those two, one will provide extra shield, one will provide extra damage when they get to their max heat. The other way the heat mechanic works is they will do their thing until they reach their max heat. So the booster will provide one extra energy for each until it runs out of heat, and it can take it. It has a maximum heat of 2. So basically, if you can hit it twice, you can get 2 different heats. So Anade thought this fight would take longer, and so that's one of the other reasons about liking Crate is that they can take a bathroom break, and unfortunately, they did not beat this fight. Is there anything else to share?
Well, we did get in a $16 anonymous donation, putting us to $100 out of $150 for Princess Peach Showtime to save Mr. Mustache. It also did change for Satchel, the costume. The current winning costume now is Surfer Satchel.
Oh, nice. Do it. Yeah, so,
Also, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we at this point we got a second brick, which is only a +1 damage, but still +1 damage is not nothing. I don't have a place to put it.
I do not, so I'm just gonna.
Oh wait, actually, if you put it, nope.
I could, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah. But yeah, so we are just kind of getting through this last one while we finish up the fight. I didn't talk about burn. Burn is another damage over time effect that these fire hazards will provide for us, as well as that little fire attack that's over the salamander right now. It's like damage over time, which will do the damage to you, but it is less dangerous than fire because it applies before shield rather than after shield. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it provides the attack before shield rather than after shield, which means that you have just use it.
Wait. There we go.
Perfect. So it will provide that extra. So it will still do extra damage, but because we have so much shield, it's not really something we have to concern ourselves with. We still don't want to get too much of it because it can slowly eat up, especially since we don't have our shield does not increase each round because we only have the one haste. That raises and lowers each turn. But we are doing pretty fine, and I think we're just gonna keep moving forward.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
That is the curse forge that Kala was talking about before. Again, it's just too much thinking involved.
And by the way, floor 9.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and this time,
So,
King.
are we still at Surfer Dude?
We are still at Surfer Dude, so let me go ahead. I will close that pull out. Thank you, everyone who donated for the different costumes. Y'all have been absolutely fantastic, and we deeply, deeply appreciate it.
Yes, and this is the first time I've really had like a bunch of different costumes for a Backpack Hero run. So I really like. I mean, it's all going towards an amazing cause, but I also really appreciate y'all, playing along and joining in with getting fun costumes.
Yeah. So King is a very scary enemy.
Not that you could tell.
Yeah, we're doing fine, but because when you do damage to him, he gets rage. Every time you do attacks on him, he gets rage. And he also summons enemies very frequently. He was not even a problem this run, but he is you can get to floor 9 and have a thing that's entirely impossible to beat him, depending on exactly how your backpack is doing at that time.
I believe you said Surfer Dude, right?
Yes, Surfer Satchel.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So Satchel is the bird bard, and he has 2 unique mechanics. The one is his backpack is weirdly shaped, and similar to Satchel, as you'll see when we get this level, you will increase it by Tetronymus, but they don't have to be adjacent. The other thing is he has Charm, and the Charm will take the enemy and put him on your side instead. So they do that. They will put you on. Enemies will go on their side when their charm status is equal to or greater than their current hit points. Yes. So that is a very effective, way to get enemies. They will do their things on their enemies, or if there's a positive thing, they'll do them on you. So both of those are very positive, good things to think about. And the other thing is, as you see, the backpacks don't have to be adjacent. Things don't have to be connected. And in fact, you're kind of encouraged to not connect them.
I didn't know you could just level up. I thought I had to get a fight. No, well, this like I said, I played this game completely casually. So this is fantastic. I love this.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing me this. That's great, fabulous. My hosting shift is already like fantastic. I did say at the beginning of this that Satchel is my favorite character to play as.
Yeah, Satchel is a lot of fun.
He's so much fun.
The charm mechanic is very nice because Satchel it makes him one of the safer characters. He's not the fastest. With one Lasby, he's last. Of the 3, he's generally the slowest. But if you get to the 3rd character, you really want to choose your safest character. And Satchel's runs are very predictable. You can get by with Satchel with just the standard flute, as long as you get like a couple of pieces of armor.
Yeah.
You really don't need anything else for him, and you have a good run. Ooh, rarer.
Oh, is this a rare one?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Do it on. That's gonna get a summer item. Do it on the flute.
Oh no, because it's just gonna be uncommon. It's just gonna give me a
Oh yeah.
saxophone.
Yeah.
That was okay. All right, Satchel. Fine.
Not that great. But yeah, so that is unfortunate.
That's fine.
But we tried to get a smaller shield, right? That's what we're trying to get.
Would have been nice.
Yeah. So that rat can trade items, and he does he has a couple of different options for what kind of trade he can do. That trade was the get a rarer item of the same type, and type is items have more than one type, right? Like the shield is just a shield, but the summer shield is both summer and shield, and when that rarer, it could get you rarer of either a rarer summer or a rarer shield. I'm not sure if there are any legendary summer items, but they would not be useful, most likely, for a Satchel run.
Not sure.
So we do have this this new shield, which is a better shield. It does provide more block, but it has the negative effect of being 2x2 and not having any weapons in that pocket. And that's what each of these individual things are called. They're called pockets. And items sometimes care about the pockets. Like the starter shiv, for example, it provides extra bonus damage if you have more of those feather shivs in other pockets. There is one relic that makes that very useful, which will allow you to duplicate it. So you can basically, every fight, you can get guaranteed to get another shiv. And you then just end up hitting that shiv all over the place. But a lot of other items do have pockets that we kind of take advantage of. We want things to be there. So that's one of the reasons why that's the main reason why Nade will frequently use as many pockets as possible to get until we know better. Obviously, the big downside for that is we don't have any big spaces to put items. Kind of offset by the fact that we have the pocket. So
Oh wait, I forgot I had the pouch.
You have the pouch. Yeah, there's no reason to think too hard about that.
That's fair.
You're just gonna sell those?
Yeah. Because I'm not. I'm just nope.
You don't want to deal with damage build?
I don't.
Yeah.
So, by the way, this obviously does take longer, but Peggle was my first speed game, and I'm generally decent at it. So, I won't always do it, but if there's something that I think I have a decent chance of getting.
Yeah. I found if that item in the far right corner, if you put it as far right as you can, you're pretty much guaranteed to get it. So,
yes.
So if that far right corner item is something you want, just put it in the top right corner, you'll get it.
By the way, here's one of the fun things of enemies that summon.
Is they summon their enemy and you just make them yours.
I have had a lot of fun with Satchel fighting the cultist leader in the swamp, and just converting all of her followers to my side.
Yep.
Yes. But yeah, so we don't. And so we can just convert the followers and take full advantage of this charm mechanic. Yeah, nothing super great. Yeah, I didn't talk about this healer because it exists. At the end of every floor, you get a chest. You get this healer. The healer offers two different options. One is to just give a big healing to you. The other one is to increase your max hit points.
Technically, there's a third option.
Oh, a third option for the healing your curses.
Yeah.
But
since we generally
don't take
avoid curses, yeah,
doesn't really matter. You put the ruby out, the sapphire out. Yeah. So gems are. We didn't see any gems really in the last two runs, but gems are items. They're almost all 1x1 items that provide a bonus to adjacent and sometimes diagonal weapons. Pretty much exclusively, I'll do some sort of benefit to weapons. This one is the sapphire floats, so it has to be at the top of the backpack, and it's just +1 damage. It's barely worth it. But since we have the space for it, you just put it out.
I think I'm dead because I messed up.
Oh, did you? Oh, you didn't? Yeah. Because you didn't charm the bunny?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is one of the reasons why order matters. And the RNG for this game is mostly the same. Like, not everything will actually looking at the shop. Wow.
I know. You did a lot of damage to me, scared me, alright?
Yeah. But yeah, as you see, we do things slightly differently. I think there is some sort of randomization seed that gets saved with your save file. If you do the exact same thing in the exact same way, you will get the same randomization stuff, everything's randomized. However, we don't necessarily always, if we can modify that. One of the things that shop did, which gave us a different randomized item for that blessing potion. Perfect. The blessings is an item that you can get during combat, kind of similar to hazards, that like the slime or the fire, but they're positive. They're all positive stuff. They all do just good things to you. You don't always want their positive effect. They're not always useful to your build. Like for example, there's sometimes like a weapon is one of the blessings. If you have a better weapon, you don't want to use it anyway. But they're all good. And so we try to get those blessings as much as possible, so we can get the benefits of them. Are you gonna grab the boots? Are the boots or no?
No, because there's not.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Yeah. So those like little talon boots, specifically a chattel item, and is instead of just being for spaces above it, it is specifically pockets with spaces above it. So it does include its own pocket if there's a space above it. So there are 3 pockets above it, so it's getting, I think, like 3 block each, so 9 blocks. So that's very good. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more security now with that. So we'll be able to get through this floor 5, of course. Because charm, just like all other effects, does go down each round. Similar to the other items, it does. You do have the issue of people can become not your ally anymore.
Yep. No.
Take too big, right?
Yeah. I'm just gonna really quickly. Well, that works.
Just to sell it.
Yeah. Let's see what's here. I'm just gonna do it.
So yeah, this is why we can just, because the instrument can, there aren't really a lot of good charm increasing items that will provide like things to instruments that we want. So that that's why we say the flute is good enough, because you get that, you can add that +2 charm and just deal with it that way. But yeah, so we are kind of, getting through this run pretty quickly.
Stop cursing me.
I will.
She will too.
Yeah.
Not worth it, but thank you anyway.
It's a very big item. The lightning bolt is a good item if you have room for it. That's, again, the downside of the satchel being so disparate, is you just don't have room for a lot of items. Because it just takes up so much space. I think there's exactly 2 spaces where that lightning bolt could go. Oh yeah, we saw this bomb crab a couple times before, but because we generally try to kill it early, we don't see it do its thing. So after it's like turn 4, it does a huge amount of damage and then blows up. It literally, uses self-destructive. It was super effective. So it's very nice for a satchel because it doesn't have a lot of hit points, so we can almost always charm it before it blows up, and then it just does a lot of damage to our enemy. I think it does to everybody, or just
just one, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But still, it does a lot of damage, and since we're not doing damage, that's a very helpful thing to do. Perfect. You can hold the shield on there.
I can.
Ooh, oboe. No, clarinet.
I mean, yeah, except
You just gave the charm.
Yeah. I mean, I will grab it, but
yeah. The clarinet is better than the flute. All the don't come at me, band nerds.
Wow. You knew I was ready. I was ready to throw hands as a clarinet player.
It's better in that does more charm. In this game, it's better. I don't. My sister played clarinet, so that it might be slightly biased. But it does have more charm by default. I also think it has 2 forward slots. Looks like.
Yeah.
So the items can only be forward a certain number of times. That it says in the bottom right corner of the thing. So, items. Sometimes generally bigger items have more forward slots. Bigger and/or rare items have more forward slots. So, because we don't have a lot of other things, like, right now both the clarinet and the flute are both doing 7 charm. But if we find another forge that has plus charm on it, that clarinet can really get much better. If we decide that that's worth it.
Like I said, clarinet's strictly better.
Yeah. Well, it's not strictly better because it is bigger.
I know.
Ooh.
So
You can sell it regardless at some point.
I did not sell things because I have that still.
Yeah.
That can stay there.
Yeah. So we will be selling off these items. We got. Is that rare? Yeah. But yes. So we have a nice little chunk of
Nesting?
change. Yeah, nice little chunk of change. We have no clothing to put them on. We don't really have a lot of things to spend the gold on. The one interesting part about Satchel is just don't end up having the you don't have things to spend your gold on the forge. It's just the forge slots are not as expensive or as useful because you generally don't have a lot of pieces of clothing again because just you don't have room for them most of the time. But I'm holding out hope that we will have plus charm on this forge that's coming up, and the clarinet will be worth it.
I can hope.
So that item, as you saw, it's a transforming item. It can transform from one item to another. That shield can do the drama masks, happy and sad. You can use it during combat. It takes energy to do so.
Nope.
No. But does that have taste to structure?
It does.
You have so much gold. Just do it. Get rid of the flute.
Buy flute.
Yeah. So even if you don't, because it is the same at this point.
Yeah.
You already sold 3.
I know.
Oh.
I was looking to see if there was any healing items because I'm afraid of my health.
Oh yeah, that's pretty bad. Right
If
now.
I die,
We'll-
we'll be done.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not. We want to see Surfer Dude as long as possible.
It's Blade Master.
Oh.
It's
Actually, we're good. Blade Master, we're fine.
yeah, especially with Charm.
This is part of why I go Charmed route.
Yeah, because Charm won't trigger spikes, or his when you do a certain amount of damage to him, he does more dangerous attacks. But we just won't attack him, so we won't trigger that extra damage. We'll just charm him, get through the things, and we can easily get through this fight with Satchel. It just takes a little bit longer because we only doing 7 charm per turn, or 7 charms per use. But it is safe. Are there any announcements?
I mean, I'm just enjoying taking down this boss with the soothing sound of the clarinet, quite frankly. by the way, just thank you to everyone who's been joining in with us with rating into the stream. We very much appreciate it. Just as a reminder, here at Fireside Pride 2024, we are raising money for Point of Pride. Point of Pride is a trans-led 501c3 nonprofit organization, and they provide life-changing access and life-saving affirmation to trans folks in need of health and wellness care via financial aid and direct support. So we're really happy to be supporting them again this year. And we hope that you will join us for all of the fun runs that we have, just for the wonderful time that we're going to be spending here as we, help out a cause that is very much needed and very much appreciated.
Do the Frozen Heart. I think that's actually better.
I don't know.
I know you have AoE, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just...
I think I'm gonna stay with Magma Core.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. This is the only one that we sometimes make a choice on. The Frozen Heart has a lot more, like...
Nope.
You don't have any clothing?
Nope.
A lot more enemies generally, like bigger encounters with less hit points. So if you have any sort of AoE or sometimes charm kind of works like that, it is sometimes worth it to risk going through that.
Yeah, I haven't played too much with the Frozen Heart. I basically kind of focused on the story end. Does the story end require you only to do Magma Core?
No.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
You can do Frozen Heart too.
I just ended up sticking with Magma Core because I kind of learned it and I was like, all right, I kind of get how this section works.
Yeah.
But I definitely do want to go back and play more now that you all have been teaching me many things.
Yeah. So, there is a lot more to this game that we just skip. We don't do a lot of the events. There's a full story mode, as Scarlett has been talking about.
The story mode is great.
It is a very good story, heartwarming, and it is a great way to learn the game as well because it unlocks the complexity a little bit at a time. The first time you go through this dungeon, you can only get to floor 3. When you get to floor 3, you leave, and so you unlock more floors, so you can have a successful run very quickly because you have those floors completed quickly. You don't really need the pockets.
At least not. That doesn't make a difference right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Trumpet.
Not really worth it, right?
I have things. I have to move things, but I have things.
Oh yeah, you have adjacent height. You have accessories.
Actually have a bunch of accessories.
Yeah, so that's actually just better.
Yeah. Sorry, clarinet.
Yeah, you are a
It's
trumpeter.
okay.
It actually makes sense.
It's okay because trumpet.
Yeah. And while Scarlett was talking, we got another relic, that red little seed thing. And it is kind of a broken relic for a satchel. The way it works is if you don't use a weapon in the turn, next turn you get 1 energy. Instruments don't count as weapons. So it's just basically free weapon. Free energy.
It's free energy.
Yeah.
Like free real estate.
Oh yeah, because of the shield will be useful, right? That's why you have to move it.
Yeah, but that's good. I got that.
Yeah,
it's
it's
fine.
nice. Yeah. You're not doing a lot of damage with that thing anyway. So that's why we got rid of all of our shivs, is like they weren't doing much for us, and by getting that thing, we should be using our instrument exclusively at this point. So we're good. One of the nice things about Satchel is this enemy ahead of us, it has something called like Guardian or something like that. And when you have Guardian enemies act as, a shield for everybody behind them, you literally cannot target anything behind the Guardian enemy. and that applies to you when your Guardian is on your team. So by charming that Guardian early, all of the attacks were attacking the Guardian. Because normally, even though you have the enemies, the allies, the fake allies, they still attack you first. Enemies still attack you. With the Guardian, they have no choice but to attack their friend. So that is a very nice thing about having the Guardian enemy.
It's just uncommon.
Yeah. One of the other unique items, it's not really mechanic, but unique items for Satchel is those hammers. Satchel was the only one with hammers. I think the reason that he has hammers is because he plays them as his drumsticks. I'm not sure if that's the real reason, but that's what I say. I think it makes it fun.
You use hammers when you use bells.
Percussion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's percussive. One of his percussive instruments is hammers. Hammers are like shivs in that they cost 0 energy and can be used once per turn. But one of the nice things about them is that they can provide benefits to any items that are 2 spaces away. Which works really great with the pockets, is, that happens very frequently. You have gaps 2 spaces away. So, very rarely do we do hammer build in the speedrun just because of the nature of having to have so many items to make it really worth it. But it is a nice little thing to do. But yeah. This is why Satchel is very reliable, right? Is because of the fact that, the mechanics are not designed to support Satchel. Really. A lot of the mechanics don't really, a lot of difficulty is assuming that you have a melee weapon. That you're doing damage, and specifically most often with melee weapons. There's very few weapons that are not melee in this game, and so you end up with just like that enemy. The hard part is he has spikes every other turn, and you just don't care because you're going to charm him anyway. We have more gold than we need, so really we don't need anything, right? That's basically why you threw things away.
Partially. We do have, because this can create blessings, which can be a backup, which uses gold.
Oh, that's true.
Which is why I'm just kind of hanging on to it, and I'm selling extra things and stuff. But
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
But yeah,
because maybe we'll get a decent. Oh yeah, we also got this triangle. And the triangle is one of the drums. He does have his drum instruments. And the drums are different in that, unlike other items, you use them once and then they turn on. And then they just do their effect for the rest of the combat.
And since charm, like all buffs and debuffs, decreases over time.
So then this triangle, which is the most common, is the common drum. It just provides 2 or 3 charm to everybody. Which again will leave people, will fight the natural decay of charm. So once you've charmed an enemy, unless there's someone who does healing, we don't have to worry about charming them again. We might have seen them kind of flip back and forth over time. That charm kind of bypasses that problem for us. But having the one drum for just 1 energy cost on turn 1. So it definitely. He's throwing out the entire bag now.
I mean, I don't need it.
Yeah, you don't need it. So it's definitely one of those really good things to get, even just a single drum. And because they're so pretty common to do, it's pretty hard to not just take it every time. But yeah, so we'll be finishing up this fight. One thing that we kind of know is one of the things that you learn from the speedrun doing a lot is where the stairs are. So you know, we knew that we can see the stairs now, but like we knew that we could go into this direction, we'd find the stairs. That's part of the intuition of playing this game.
Yeah, you kind of get a sense for the map as you go on.
Yeah, exactly. How the map goes. Not worth it.
It's not worth it at this point.
Oh no.
Nope. Nope. I mean, the damage to an instrument,
Oh,
because this is a weapon.
Yeah, you do it.
So
Yeah, and we know that King doesn't have spikes. Like
yeah.
neither King nor Guardian has spikes, so there's really no downside. I guess you would do more damage.
Okay.
Yeah. So how much? They had 4 charm slots.
I think so. Yeah, 4 forge slots.
Yeah. Okay. So now that's a very loud trumpet. I mean, this is so.
Oh, it's like the trumpets in Pokemon.
Yeah. And it's the person who does not know how to play trumpet playing trumpet now.
Oh no.
I cause psychic damage.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. It's psychic damage from hearing the really bad. Okay, so we are going to be fine. We have.
Oh.
This is Grandmaster. We will charm the 3 dudes pretty quickly, and then we will just charm the Grandmaster. Sometimes with satchel builds, depending on exactly how they go, you can get to the point where you charm the Grandmaster before he ever wakes up, which I always find very funny.
Yeah.
Because we're doing damage with the trumpet, as well as all of his geckos are doing the damage, we'll probably... He probably will wake up.
Yeah.
But because we have the 3 dudes, we'll still be fine. So, I just want to say thank you to everyone.
There we go.
We'll be coming up on time very shortly. So, as soon as we hit the last new game is when we call time.
Yep. And time.
GG!
Thanks. That's part of roguelikes, is they can kind of go any which way. Oof. Sorry about being so overestimate for that one. So just very quickly, I am on twitch.tv/TrainerAnade. I don't stream all that often, but every once in a while, and Backpack Hero. Check the SRC page for the SRC page to find the Discord, which there aren't a whole lot of us, but we're trying to get it more accurate. And Aria is Aria_love.
Yes.
She's not streaming yet.
I'm
but-
thinking about streaming some of my game dev. I got the game dev bug from Lady Arcaders.
So go follow her anyway. All right. Thank you so much. Continue donating towards a great cause, and y'all take care. Have a good rest of the night, and keep raising money.